Hello, and welcome to another episode of I Demand a Homestead. My name is Amanda, and today what we're going to talk about is how to add an extra box onto a Warre beehive. So I've got a couple of extra videos on Warre Hive, specifically what they are and how they work. So if you want to kind of know a little bit more about them, please feel free to check out those videos. So a Warre hive is different from a regular beehive like a Langstroth hive in that it only has top bars. It doesn't have frames, right? So the bees build their comb, you can kind of see this one, they build their comb right on to the top bar. And so that way you kind of, they can kind of build that comb however they want. So they're getting down to the bottom of their second box there as far as comb building. And I want to make sure that they have at least 2 full boxes of honey for going into the winter time, because here in Ontario and Canada, that's kind of what they need to get through a fairly severe winter, would be 2 full boxes. But I also don't want them to feel like they're cramped for space, because when bees are cramped for space or they don't have enough space to build more comb, then they may start thinking about swarming in the spring, and I really don't want them to do that. So just in case, I'm going to put an extra box on this hive, and we also have another one beside it. We're going to do that one too. So what you're going to need, obviously, is an extra Warre box and the top bars that go in it. And what's different from a Langstroth hive is that you actually put the box underneath. This is the one, I will say, the one drawback of Warre hives, because it tries to mimic nature, which is great for the bees, not so convenient for us, because the fact that bees build their comb, if in a hollow tree, bees would build their comb from the top down. So it actually, they naturally want to build their comb going down. And so what would happen is they have their brood comb at the top, and then as the brood hatches out, they backfill that with honey. And that's kind of how the brood kind of continues to move down. And then so we put the fresh box underneath, and the honey that you harvest is from the top box. So what we're going to do is we're going to take our box and we're going to put the top bars in here, she says, as it kind of gets stuck. So these ones have got lots of propolis on them and all that stuff. You could clean them off, I guess, but I don't really worry about that. I think having some old comb on there kind of gives them a little bit of a blueprint about where to start. So that actually helps them kind of not build a lot of extra cross comb. So I'm going to put I actually kind of oftentimes will leave a little bit of comb on here deliberately so that they kind of know what I want them to do. So the problem with putting the boxes underneath is that the honey and the comb is pretty heavy. So, I mean, each comb, each bar can have 5 pounds of honey, and honey with wax on there. And if we've got 8 of them, that can be a pretty heavy box. So lifting 2 of them together when they're full can be a pretty heavy thing, which is why I'm going to get my husband out here to help me. Because I would say, unless you have like a lift, and there are kind of people that have built that, ways to lift up the hive, unless you have a lift, I would not suggest that you do this by yourself, unless you're going to do it 1 box at a time. And I don't want to do that because that disrupts the bees, right? The whole point of this system, this Warre system, is it's pretty non-invasive. So I don't want to have to open up the hive unless I have to. So just kind of lifting up the whole hive and putting another box underneath is not as invasive as splitting the boxes open and taking them apart. So that's why I like to do it this way. All right, so what we're going to need, as I said, is the hive box with the top bars. We are going to need one of these hive tools so that way we can kind of separate the bottom from the base, the bottom box from the base. And I'm going to need a brush to kind of brush any bees out of the way that I don't want to crush, obviously. And then I am going to kind of get my smoker ready. I hope not to need to use it, but depending on their mood, I may or may not. All right, so I'm going to get my stuff together and get my husband out here, and we'll get going.
Hello out there in TV land. It is I, Dave.
Okay, so now we're gonna get started. Here is my helpful husband. We're gonna take off the roof first. We're leaving our feeding box in place just because it's easier. All right, so then I'm gonna take my, well, I narrowed the entrance because we were having some problems with wasps. Oh, yeah, sealed stuff. Hey guys, oh, they really did. Good work, guys. Okay, now what I'm gonna do is use my hive tool just to loosen this from the bottom. Okay, I am gonna give them just a little bit of smoke, just to get them out of the way of the entrance so that way we don't crush as many of them. All right, now we're gonna come from side to side and then move and put it onto this little stool we've got here. Because you never want to stand in front of the hive entrance because you're more likely to get stung there. Okay, baby?
Okay. So, where am I grabbing it? Right there? Okay, 1, 2, 3.
Okay. Then we put our fresh box on. Okay, and now we're just going to put it back on. Same way. Can you just make sure it matches? Your side?
There we go.
Okay. And then we just put the quilt box back on top. On top of that. And then we are done. So thank you for joining us on another episode of I Demand a Homestead. If you have any questions about kind of why we did that the way we did it, or anything else, please feel free to post them in the comment section. If you liked this video, you can press the subscribe button and then press the notification bell so that you won't miss any more of my videos. And I really encourage you guys to look into the Warre Hive because they are a really great natural option for beekeeping. All right, so everybody have a great day and we'll see you again next time. Bye-bye.